It was a good race for me. It was my third or fourth fastest time ever, which says a lot being in a career for 6, 7 years and making two Olympics. So that's pretty good. The only thing was Daniel Roberts, one of our good hurdlers in the U.S., beat me in that race too. So like just how fast that race
By
was
a hair, right?
by a hair.
1301, I
Yeah,
think.
13:01. So right now in the world, the four fastest times are all Americans, um, which bodes well for our event. And yeah, things are going well for me. Training's been kind of ramping up for me in the last month or so. Just finished, we finished up OTAs at the end of the end of May for me before I went over to Europe, but they finished OTAs the first week of June. So just kind of been busy doing both, and then about the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been locked in on the track side. Getting some of the technical stuff down. So my times have been dropping a lot in the last month.
Devin, how do you balance both just being a professional football player on its own, obviously is incredibly difficult, goes without saying, but also to be one of the most elite sprinters in the world, track athletes in the world. How do you manage to balance both of those things?
I think for one, it takes a lot of planning, planning each season and planning how you go about the day, really, in terms of training and recovery, and then secondly, I think discipline's the second most important thing because in these sports, especially football, being so hard on the body, staying healthy and getting your rest and recovery is probably the most important thing you can do at this level. And same thing with track and field, right? There's so many finite things you can improve on, and we're always pushing the envelope, and so we're always just at the risk of injury and pushing too hard. So we got to be very careful with that. So staying disciplined with how I recover and all that is super important. But it's been fun. It's not so crazy that I don't want to do it. I enjoy it every day, and I enjoyed this last season with the Eagles, kind of getting my feet back wet after 6 years not playing.
Yeah, talk about that. How hard was it to step away from football to focus on track and then to come back after what is a really long time when you're talking about professional sports?
Yeah, it definitely was difficult at first. The first kind of whirlwind for me was training camp, getting into, just kind of getting thrown into the fire and realizing that this isn't college anymore, right? I played at the University of Oregon, which was a high level of ball, but the NFL takes it to the next level. So yeah, the first couple of weeks for me were a whirlwind in terms of just remembering how to play, learning the scheme, learning the offense, and then thirdly is like actually being able to compete with these great athletes on the field, which the Eagles having the best athletes, in the NFL. So yeah, it was definitely difficult, but after about 6 to 8 weeks, I started feeling comfortable and got to spend the year on the practice squad developing and feeling pretty good about my development in the last year, and then looking forward to being on the field this year.
All right, talk to me about some of these. Look, the NFL has incredible athletes. We've seen guys like DK Metcalf. He has tried his hand at sprinting. Obviously, we know Tyreek Hill has a background in track and field. Uh, you the fastest guy in the NFL right now? Somebody else faster?
No,
Where do you
I
stand?
definitely am. I definitely am.
Is there levels to this, Devin? Like we said, like DK, he ran. Even Tyreek recently did the 60.
Yeah,
I think it was a 60-yard dash, I believe.
60 meter dash
Yeah, it was 60
earlier
meters.
in the
Okay, I
season.
wasn't sure if it was
Yeah.
meters or yards. So Tyreek wins that race. Didn't exactly look like he was going against the highest level of competitors, but what do I know? Different level between you and those guys.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, it's hard to roast. I'm not going to roast those guys
No.
because what they did was impressive. I raced Tyreek Hill when I was in high school.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, we raced and he smoked me when we were in high school. And DK Metcalf running 10-3 a couple years ago is super impressive for a guy that's 6'4",
Right.
6'3", 225. But I think, just especially at the top level, like top five, top 10 in the world, there's a big gap in terms of just the performance. And not saying that these guys couldn't do it. I think there's even some guys on my team that could play a few different sports. And if they focus on it, right, we got guys that are good at basketball,
Right.
baseball, golf, right? So, it's just what you kind of put your time and effort into. And that's what, makes these athletes great is they decided to be NFL athletes and they committed to that, and then that's why they're the best.
Besides yourself, who on your team would be best in a track event?
Ooh, so I was gonna say this, Devontae Smith would be a great sprinter. I think his event would be the 400.
Really?
Just the
He's
way
got
his
a
body
little
types.
stamina to him?
Yeah, his body type, the way he runs, his stride length. I think once he gets going, he's rolling, and I think he just has that mindset of hard work and training, and the 400-meter dash is the hardest event. So I know Smitty could definitely lock in and kind of grind to run a fast time. I'm sure he's done it in the past too. You have to Google search, how fast his time was, but he
Right.
could
I'm
definitely
sure he
do.
was like
But there's a lot of
kicking
guys.
ass
There's
in
a lot
high
of guys.
school. Yeah.
I mean, we had Jalen Rager last season. He plays for
Yeah.
the Vikings now, and he was a Texas State champ in the long
Yes.
jump, right? So he's like a 25, 26-foot long jumper, which is very,
Oof.
very competitive. And, so there's a lot of guys that could do a lot of different events. It's just at this level, it gets a little bit more like, fine tuned. Like the top 10 in the world is much different than top 50 in the world.
Right. I'll get you out of here on this one, Devon. So you put in a 13:04. What can you do? What is the absolute top time that you feel is achievable for you?
Well, I ran 1284 last year at the same meet where I ran 1304, and I'm kind of getting back into shape, into that fitness level around this time of season. So really, it's to run faster than that. I know the world record's 1280, so just a few hundreds from that, I
Right.
think
You were
is
so close.
very
Can you set a world record if
very
everything's right?
very popular. Yeah, very possible. I think it's not easy to do. I'm not going to say it's easy, but I think I have the ability to do it, and I think if everything kind of aligns and I feel good, I definitely can do it.